John 18. It's John 18, 25 through 27. John 18, starting in verse 25. Familiar story here. And Simon Peter stood and warmed himself. They said therefore unto him, Art not thou also one of his disciples? He denied it, said, I am not. One of the servants of the high priest, being his kinsman, whose ear Peter cut off, saith, Did not I see thee in the garden with him? Peter then denied again, and immediately the cock crew. Let's turn our time over now to Pastor Gerry.
Now, you'd never do that. Deny Jesus? I mean, you're too well acquainted with him. But would you have been any more well acquainted with him than Peter was? Spending 3.5 years with him? And then get to this point where you would deny him? Matthew 10:33 says this, But everyone who denies me here on earth, I will also deny before my Father in heaven. So denying Jesus is a pretty serious thing. But let's look back just a little bit. And I don't want to excuse Peter necessarily, but maybe we ought to look at it. Remember, Jesus was there in the upper room. Peter was the one who, with a lot of bravado, said that he was going to follow him, even if it meant death. Let's just look at that a little bit in Matthew 26. Jesus told them, Tonight all of you will desert me. Peter declares, Even if everyone else deserts you, I will never desert you. Pretty strong words, isn't it? Isn't that what you would say? Wouldn't you, in that same position, you cared a lot about Jesus. You loved him. You would go everywhere he went. But Peter's big problem was he didn't understand the mission. When Jesus asked him that they need to bring a sword along, and Peter says, well, we've got 2 here. And Jesus said, enough? That's enough? Well, wouldn't you think that Peter was on top of things? Peter was ready to go no matter what happens. I've been reading a book. In fact, I've just finished it here a week ago. The Secret History of the Ninja. And you think, okay, Pastor, what have you gotten yourself into? Well, most people have not a clue of what ninjas really are. Ninjas spend their whole life training to be ready for anything and everything. Very hard to surprise a ninja. In fact, no matter what happens, they were ready for it. What anybody says, what anybody does, they were ready. And they made excellent intelligence people. They made excellent spies. And they made excellent warriors. They were ready for anything and everything. Peter was not. Peter was not ready for anything and everything. He thought he was. He thought, wherever you go, Lord, I'll never desert you. I'm ready. I can handle it. Obviously, Peter was not a ninja.